What's your adopted story? I'm Mark, 22 meters. I'm from North Dakota. I was born on a tribal reservation and am Native American. I was born into an abusive family and went into foster care at the age of 7 and was adopted by my first foster family at the age of 14 with my brother and 2 sisters. It's been a bit of a cultural struggle as my parents are white. But it's been good to have a nice family. I voluntarily have no contact with my birth parents. Unfortunately, my sisters have decided not to be part of my family anymore. Though it sounds heartless of me, I am fine with that. I love my life and my family. I'm so thankful to have been adopted. I would not be where I am today. I'm studying to be a teacher, working on getting an ENT certification. I'm a firearms instructor, and I am a camp counselor. My life is amazing. Story: I am 40 and was adopted as an infant in a domestic adoption. My adoptive parents had a 4-year-old boy, lost to babies after him, and then adopted me. From what I have been told, I was born to a young single mother. She consulted her priest on what to do and decided to place me for adoption. My parents were contacted and adopted me. I had a pretty normal life. We moved around in the northeastern United States a lot when I was younger. I was born in Maryland, but we have also lived in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. We settled in Massachusetts when I was around 10, and I have lived here ever since. I'm the same race as my adoptive family, but they are all extremely tall while I am very short. My mom is 5 feet 10, my dad is 6'6", my brother is 6'5", and I am 4'11". I am also much fairer skinned than they are. I had super blonde hair, blue eyes, and pale skin. My brother and parents had darker hair, eyes, and easily tanned skin. Story: I 59 meters was adopted at 9 months in a closed adoption. Always knew I was adopted, and for the first 40 years of my life had no more than a passing interest in my origins. After my parents died, I started to become curious. But my birth name was so common I didn't know where to start. When genealogical genetic testing became available, I started submitting my DNA and had some distant matches. About 2 years ago, I was contacted by a second cousin match on 23andMe who asked how we were related. I explained my situation, gave them my birth name and date. They said, "Wait while we check something." A week later, I got a message that some named Lisa would contact me and that she was my sister. All my assumptions about my birth parents were wrong. Not a teenager who got knocked up. I was the third of 5 children of a married couple and the only one put up for adoption. No one living knows the reason. My sister came to visit a few months afterwards and we connected on first meeting. It's been strange. My birth parents died around 2000, and I had probably seen my bio father driving his business van around numerous times. My bio grandparents lived right around the corner from my grandmother's apartment. I also learned that I grew up under much better circumstances than my bio siblings, avoiding the abusive father and overwhelmed mother. Story 5. I guess I'm the odd man out in this post, but that's okay. I wasn't adopted as an infant. I'm 9M, I live in the USA and was adopted at age 14. I knew both of my biological parents. I don't really want to get into that whole origin story too much. Being adopted was cool. I was pretty depressed before that. I guess having someone actually choose to take care of me made me feel like I was worth something. That's the messed up benefit of being adopted as an older kid. You get the experience of feeling worthless before somebody proves you wrong by loving you. Struggles. I don't know ... I guess I never really bonded with my adopted mom on the same level as I did with my dad. Maybe it's because my biological dad was such a huge jerk that when I got a good dad, it was more meaningful. Either way, we were always closer, so he's usually the one I talk about. My mom ... Well, she was great. She kept me in line. Wasn't afraid to tell me to get my ass in gear. I appreciate that. I take that as an expression of love. But even so, it never really felt like she liked me that much. Not surprisingly, I'm a rather insecure person, so it could just be my imagination. I guess I'll never know. Now that I'm older, I don't even see my family that much. It's kinda more like we're friends now, rather than family, and I'm okay with that. I go see them maybe a couple times a year to catch up. I'm sorry if you have had a hard time due to racial issues. That's something I definitely never had to deal with. I personally don't think my dad and I look alike at all, but when we were out in public, strangers told us we look alike really often. Come to think of it, it wasn't even just strangers. Back when I first met my family, their friends made comments like, "Is this your boy? He looks just like you," so I dunno. Maybe we do look alike and I just can't see it. I guess that's my story. Story 6. I was born and adopted in Florida as soon as I was born. My adoptive family stayed in Florida for a few weeks after that before going back to their own state. I don't exactly remember the first time they told me I was adopted, but my adoptive parents said that I was really young. Most people wouldn't think I was adopted since I look a lot like my adoptive parents. I'm not that close to my adoptive mother, but I'm fond of my adoptive father. When I was going into 3rd grade, my adoptive family moved to a nearby state and I started going to another school. My family never really spoke about my birth family. I kept asking them questions about my birth family, like if they remembered anything about them, if they knew my birth parents' names, if they remembered what they looked like, if they had any photos of them, etc. They told me they didn't. After I bugged them about it for a bit, they told me a few things they said they knew. They told me that she looked young, they didn't specify what this meant, and they said that they didn't see any man in the waiting room they were in. A few years later, when I was 13, I grew curious and got onto my adoptive father's Google Drive account and started looking at old photos. To my surprise, I found out they had photos from the year I was born. Curiosity got the better of me and I clicked on the folder. I was scrolling through the photos when a few caught my eye. A few of them had my adoptive mother pushing my tiny baby self in a stroller, most like in Florida. But then I saw one that made my eyes water up and made me start questioning everything my adoptive parents had told me. In the photo was me as an infant, being held by a woman in that hospital dress that I believe people wear when they are giving birth. I was certain this was my birth mother. I had a lot of mixed emotions and made sure that there was no evidence of me being there before turning off the computer. I decided that when I turned 18 I would search for my birth parents, but mostly my birth mother, since now I had a good idea of what she looks or looked like. I still haven't told my parents about how I found that photo, and I'm not sure if I should. Maybe I will when I'm a little bit older, but for now, I'll keep it a secret, though, now. I'm not really sure if I can trust them because I don't know if they were lying to me or not about not remembering anything. Story 7. I was adopted in '89 at 3 months old from Medellin, Colombia. I was raised and still currently live in the States, Maryland. To be honest, I struggled pretty hard starting about when I was your age for similar reasons. I always thought of myself as too white to be Colombian and Hispanic to be white, so there's always been a fair amount of identity issues. My adoptive family, for the most part, is amazing and I love them dearly. But most of my life was spent being treated like a fragile thing that needed to be sheltered from any and all of life's natural problems. It took me a long time to really feel a sense of independence because of it. I actually finally made the decision to search for my bio family a little over a year ago and found out that I have a sister and 2 brothers. I have yet to meet them, but my sister and I talk every now and then on FB chat. She sometimes speaks on behalf of my mother, which is also nice. I learned that my mom had me at a very young age and gave birth to me in basically a convent that helps unwed mothers. Bio dad bailed and has since started another family. I was hoping to finally meet them by now, but they don't live in a safe area, and also Corona. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to us for more videos, share to a friend, and comment your favorite story. Until next time, bye.